welcome to our friends watching at home. My name is E.R. Anderson. I'm the Executive Director of Charis Circle. Charis Circle is a nonprofit programming arm of Charis Books. And Charis Books is the South's oldest independent feminist bookstore. The person on stage right now is Karen G. And on the edge of the screen is Theresa Davis, the hostesses with the hostesses. And we are really, really, really excited to have Cliterati back together, bringing the gang back together after so many pandemic sad months. Our third Thursdays were not right.
What is time?
We felt very lonesome, very sad. And now we're back with new technology, new space. This used to be the Cliterati Open No Mic, because we did not have a sound system. Now we have a sound system.
Now we have a sound system!
So it's wild. We also have this virtual component. So while you cannot share your work virtually, you can give it up for folks in the chat. We love it when you clap, shout out what you enjoy, snap all the things in the chat. And of course, we hope that our live folks will be wildly appreciative, clap, be joyful, shout, all the things in celebration of the artist tonight. So I'm gonna kick it over to Karen G, and we're just gonna get right into it.
We should get a theme song. The clit is better.
And that's it.
Copyright infringement.
Woohoo! Hey everybody. Keeping with some traditions, Theresa and I warm it up. So anybody who's on the list does not have to go first. And today is 420. It is 420 in Atlanta, and you can smell it in the air, wafting all around, especially where Theresa and I live. Anyway, windows up, it doesn't matter. So I picked this piece, and it's one of my favorite pandemic pieces, actually, to kick it off tonight, which is Green and Chrome. The green scent of weed drifts up to the porch after a shiny chrome red and black cutlass, tea roof open, gleaming, thumps down the block. Beautiful. Sailing, wafting, it interrupts the buzzing carpenter bees, the great perfume of wisteria, and every blade of grass each neighbor takes turns cutting. The red and black plush interior of restored glory reminds me of front yard crushed velvet, the many years cars swam with fins, corroded with rain, the cinder block tinkerers of boys and girls and people and their elders working wrenches into pride. A beaming, glinting sword, a cutlass supreme, just sliced through my day. I am grateful to the bare-armed driver, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the door, wishing them wellness and safety against the night and the hours coming of copters and cops. And that is Green and Chrome for 420. Woo! And now, Theresa.
Person on the internet.
I know, Chris on the internet.
All right, so these are a couple of the pieces that I'm working on for. Oh my God, did I print the same poem out 3 times?
Maybe.
That's retro. Oh my God, can't even print properly. All right, so I'm gonna do this one needs work. But with all the talk that's going on about how women can't, be trusted to control their own bodies, meanwhile, we're going to give a 21-year-old living in his mama's basement secret codes to all the weapons and the things in the. Okay. But sorry, that just bothers me a lot. So this is called Punchlines, True Story Punchlines. So I have a lot of stories from a lot of Black women who have gone to the doctor for various things, and the diagnosis is never what you think it's going to be. And yeah, so this is true story punchlines. Did you hear the one about the Black woman who gave birth to twins so beautiful? Her white man OBGYN surprised her with a tubal ligation. Decided two was enough for her, hid the fees, a gift she did not know she paid for until 8 years later. No? Nah. How about this one? A Black woman enters the emergency room with food poisoning. The white male doctor suggests, wait for it, hysterectomy. Not that one either? Okay. A teenager, let's call her Theresa. During an annual pap smear, her Black woman doctor's white assistant sees skin discoloration, says, that looks like cancer. Making sure she is overheard, her Black doctor, sensing the fear ransacking her body, sends her to a specialist at Grady, where the white male doctor says, oh, it's just a skin discoloration. Then invites a team of interns to touch her firm cheerleader abdomen, legs still in stirrups. How when she returned home, showered to wash the dirt of 8 strangers, fingerprints tattooing her body, touching her without her consent or reason, body blistered until the water turned cold. No? You didn't hear that one either? Okay, before I start this next one, tell me, have you heard about Henrietta Lacks? So I'm still working on that one. And if you have not heard about Henrietta Lacks, don't worry about Henrietta Lacks. Because, without Henrietta Lacks, a lot of us would not be here, regardless of your race. We're going to do another one, and then Karen's going to come up and do another one, and then we're going to get to the list. Okay?
Yes.
This is another one that I'm still working on, but this is called tonsorial. I love words. I love weird words. Tonsorial is, anybody know the word? Yeah, what does it mean? I know you know.
Hair.
It has to do with the hair. So hair salons, beauty salons, barbers, anything that's tonsorial is dealing with the hair, right? Tonsorial, for my mother. When you are a single mother with 3 boys who have hair that they refuse to comb, and school is starting soon, you know that there are stores that sell clippers. So you buy a pair. The barber shop is so expensive, 3 visits pays for the clippers, and then there will be more money for the clothes they are outgrowing, for the shoes that always need replacing, for the meals missing midday in summer. This practical single mother knows she has no skill at cutting hair, but how hard can it be? She has seen hair cut. Her sons are not eager to be experimental performance art. No one wants to go first. The youngest loses the fight because he sits not as calm as he pretends. There is a soft buzz, an ouch, a retort of, damn, your ears are big, a little blood, and then an oops. The older brother slaps his hand across his lips to stuff back the expletive that will get his ass beat. His sisters laugh on the stairs. The younger brother advances on the mirror, mouth stretched in a scream that will not come. A tear falls. The mother is upset. She didn't do it on purpose. She apologizes to the crying boy, who now has to have it all cut off. A trim turned scalping. The older brother declares he wants to grow the biggest afro in the world ever. The middle son takes to grooming like it's his newfound religion, while the youngest develops an interest in hats. The clippers find a new home in a drawer away from shaking hands. It's job done until school begins again. Thank y'all for listening to that. Karen G! And anybody who came in who wants to sign up, then this is right here.
Yes, we are working on stuff. This is a bunch of poems that I'm working on. And this is my most recent one. Ask for help. The machines and the people in lab coats and paper gowns will make you feel small. And not small in the way a large landscape will make you feel small in a good way. They will make you feel small in a curious experiment, or you are just a woman, just a freak in hysteria way. I imagine dying is like what it feels like to pass out. The lightheadedness, the stars of the lids of your eyes but open, the heaviness of your limbs until you can lie down, the whooshing of your own heart making what people say around you fade into a pre-nausea, a body deciding to shut down, in an array of messages that breath and vagus nerve can only mildly regulate. Words will make you feel small. Words over phone lines you have to dial and press in an endless stream of numbers into, like the dead social security numbers and the numbers of the deceased associated with all their accounts. Papers with raised seals, fax and copy machines, notarization, machines of endless over and over and over again pieces of proof of existence. Even the stamps and the address labels will make you feel small. Bureaucracy, government authority, and the routine of your worth distilled into numbers will make you feel small. The not knowing what you are doing will make you feel small. The traveling behind masks and toll roads will make you feel small, small in God's eye of the universe, looking down at a road at you as an arterial vein. Small, you are a speck and you know it's small, but like the cell in a petri dish, and like the faces of those you can only meet in dreams now, your small body hurtling through time and the smallness of it still contains worlds and stories from back in the day that only you know. You are big worlds of survival with big feelings, your own bad decisions you overcame, the big of you in the things that are so big you had to give them up, like addictions. You are so big, like the love that spills from your body over and over again, like the way a stomach has a big hunger if you forget about it. You are so big, there are days of your life you don't even remember. The blur of your life is so long, your love is so huge, your spark touched so many other worlds and stories that alone becomes an impossible, ridiculous idea. The external world brings you smallness. But if you reach out and remember this bigness and your loveness from all your edges, you can form the question. Ask for what you need and not be alone in a world that brings you so much smallness. Working on things. Yes, we are.
I think a Karen G book needs to be in Karen's bookstores. I'm just saying.
Yes.
And that's not like I haven't been saying this for how many years?
For so many years. So I am working on
Decades.
this manuscript ideas. I got meetings.
But stop and argue until I see it.
I know. Because I'm getting too thick for the long arm stapler situation.
I got one of those though, but still.
I do too. The long arm stapler situations will help you out, but if you go over 16 pages, you start to have problems. Right. Yes. And we have several. Theresa, yes. We were working some things out. All right, so we usually don't go in order, but there are 4 of you so far, unless
Anybody who came in wants
anyone that would come in.
Yes, no. They're like, don't look at me like
Not me. But Jill is right here,
Yay.
and she's been with us and doing some things and learning how to sail. And so, Jill, are you ready?
You're supposed to be wearing masks here, but I just got an allergy attack. I think it was that mask. Nobody's sitting real close to me, so I think I'm okay. Plus, I'm not sick, so that's good. What I've been working on lately is slam. I'm trying to become a slammer. I've been doing poetry a long time, but slam, it's really new. So when I get up there with something I've tried to memorize, about half of the energy leaves me. It's peculiar. So I'm trying to do my slam poems. So do you want me to do one or two?
Two.
So I'm gonna do the two that I've done the least then, and I'll start with the one that I've done absolutely the least times. And hopefully I'll get through this one okay, and then the other one should go all right. Wide open and confident, the first curve took me down into a hard landing. A little blood, a lot of purple bruising, hands scuffed and scraped. Already limping from an earlier disaster, hitting a wall, immobile as death. I wondered if biking was my sport. If I was too old. If the crumpled mess of my bike could be repaired. Poring over the market for one at least as good as the old one, or better even, with newer tech and lighter alloys. I saw a black one, all shiny, sparkling like fireflies, reminding me that the world is a big place full of bikes. Here was one as lovely as the others and totally different, with a fiery energy striking back. Around the second curve, I lost control, skidding over the berm without a scratch to her shining surface, but taking out a tire and the sleeve of my favorite jersey.
Oh.
It hurt just a little when a friend settled in and put it on a payment plan. Back at the bike shop, a galaxy of burning stars shot across the center bar of a night blue beauty, catching me like a straight woman, matching my colors and changing things with a kiss. This one. Sleek as a racer, strong enough for a mountain, cushioned with top-of-the-line shocks, took me around the first curve with shaky confidence and the second with ease. Watching her move with almost magical calm, like a stage after the wind, after the hard pumping up hills, the hops over rock gardens roots, and I know I can't afford this bike. This easy going sweetness, strong body, fat tires, a smooth and nimble ride. This one, they agree to a hold. I go home considering what I could sell that I own, wondering what would it take. Okay. I've been trying to write about war, how stray dogs panic at sudden noise, bird wings falling as ash, the rare call for a mate unanswered. I see endangered species, which is to say non-human animals, squeezed out of space to stop, to rest, to exist, with containers of fire good only for doing as much damage as possible to life. While we, among others, consider filled shelves. If you aren't there, if you weren't just building a nest, a fat belly ready to release a copy, beautiful, helpless, you helpless, watching murder tear through your air. Someone says, don't blame me, I didn't do it. Over drinks and dinner and the calm, sweet night with its vague smell of fire, we lay down money and walk away. I didn't do it, we say here, as though our compliance weren't bought with the prosperity we enjoy. We once stopped a war with our numbers in the streets, but that war was televised. We saw it, not romantic at all. We stopped a war, but not war. They controlled the news to bring back the romance, and it worked. Now soldiers thank for their service, their lives bought with opportunity, our compliance bought with prosperity, and the whole world smells slightly of smoke and explosion, and men pitifully torn boys who thought this was the male adventure. And fire flows down roads through air, and money flows back, and our shelves are full.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'm not gonna mention no names, but somebody's supposed to be taking pictures. And I ain't naming no names. I ain't no names. I didn't tell on you. Except I did all over the internet. Hey, internet. We're gonna keep on going. Hey, Billy, are you ready to share? Yay! Do you need the podium? Position it so, okay, boom, there you go, Billy. Yay! We're gonna do two?
Yes. Yes. Is it okay if we take your picture?
That's fine. So this poem takes its title from a joke I saw on Reddit, which is the collective name for a group of sad trans girls is called a Discord.
Oh.
All the trans girls I know flock to online spaces. Birds of paradise roosting in front of keyboards, perched in performance chairs, changing their settings to dark mode, changing the color of their screen names, changing their names into sapphic fragments of themselves like shattered pottery, names of flowers, inside jokes, plays on words, just garish signals from the lighthouses stuck like needles in the seas of our own isolation. Ethernetted by the fraying umbilical cords of our ugly second births, by the braided, waxed, shaved, lasered, and electrolysis hairs of our unruly new puberty. We post selfies, we whoop and heart react, we yearn, we squabble, we shitpost and samizdat. When we ever meet in person, when we grip the unruly rug between us and pull each other close, we are nervous as prom. As glass animals with the cabinet door open and the children just home from school, we kiss and our teeth bump together. If a sound wave moves through a medium, each particle of the medium vibrates at the same frequency. We vibe at the same frequency with every message, with each heartbreak, with each new sweating senator screaming for us to call back into our blood.
Yeah.
We stockpile and mutual aid. We advice and we vent, we HRT and DIY, we progress pick and personal message, and every click of the keyboard could be the lock on our front door if we close our eyes. Could be shoes we've only seen in pictures clipping across our unclean floors. All the trans girls I know have spider webs, have stakes in every state, have a reason to cry when something happens to any of us.
Yes. Yes.
All right. This is a happier one. This is called Sunburn Parade. Staring at the oil painting my mother commissioned of my sister and I as infants on the beach, I am lost in the pastel hurricane of my little boy face. Each brushstroke, a peach, a coral, a sunset, flamingo, bubblegum, I am a chubby pink sphere on the sand. And I'm smiling. It's so pink. We'll start there. 30 years later, I am a woman in a pink t-shirt with a voice like a grade school clarinet, and I am planning a parade for the boy I used to be and buying diet soda. My glasses are pink. My peach fuzz is rebellious. My prescription for estrogen dissolving under my clumsy pink tongue. Estradiol is blue, by the way. Its color fades as my body turns it into breasts and smooth skin and long hair. Pharmacology has its own sense of humor. I used to write poems, so sad. Each scrape of the pen probably Pavloved a progression of shudders down the spine of a psychologist halfway across the world. I would blow out birthday candles and every year wish for less breath. The other day, I bought a birthday cake for no reason and ate a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Butterflies do not often look back at the chrysalis. And yes, we are talking about butterflies in a trans poem. They may be cliches, but they are all new to me, so I am soaring on glittering wings of cliche. If you even think about touching them, about ruining this, why are you here?
Exactly.
We are here to throw a parade. We are throwing confetti for the boy who cried, who thought he would never be happy, who went to the ocean and wrote a poem about drowning. Now I play in the sand. I am smiling. I am considering buying a bikini. And certain I can find one that fits, no matter how chaotic they make women's sizes. By the way, ladies, what the actual fuck?
Torrid, what?
I am back on the beach, pretty enough to be a painting, looking at swimsuits, watching the sunset, letting the heat, the waning day, the whole hot soup of it burn me and turn me pink.
Nice.
It's my turn. It's my turn. I got lost in the poem. I got lost in poems. So good to hear you. Oh my God. And next on the list we have Amalia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the clue right there.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I
it
know.
says it wrong.
Yay.
Hi. My name's Amalia. You sure can.
Awesome.
I'm going to be reading from my book.
Oh!
It is here now, actually, to inspire you. I did it. You can do it too.
Yes!
So yeah, if you like what you hear, you can get one for yourself. But I'm just going to, can I read 3?
Yes.
I'll just read one short one and then 2 that are not short. This one.
Can you tell us the name of your book?
Yes, my book is called Wait For Me by the Ground.
Awesome. Beautiful.
This one is about Puerto Rico, which is where I'm from. In the mountains of my island, you can smell the rain through the trees. There are sounds of cookie and chickens and river streams turning into waterfalls. I used to toss pebbles into rivers, making wishes, dreaming of life like the farmers in the mountains, liberated, growing, sunsets on rocky beaches. My grandmother's home was wood and kitchen island, lunch in brown bags for the children who grew into the soil of our island, sand and shells in between toes. The ocean whispers to me in my dreams, rough and then smooth, kisses on warm summer necks, the feeling of salt on my skin, interesting and unavoidable. I hear the singing of my island in every step I take, on sand or snow, overcast or open skies, in the clouds puffed with rain, spraying floods over dry fields. The splash of the ocean spray wakes me from my nightmares. The laugh of my grandmother, the smell of spices tossed in pans, saves me from the pull of the drowning sea. Remember the strums of guitar under the moon, the chirping of the frogs at night, riding in golf carts, crashing into palm trees, the sickening humidity choking our throats so hard we begin to laugh, an uncontrollable rush. The sun peaks over tropical mountain ranges, hot, burning yellow like cornfields, blistering orange and piña coladas, smooth like the current, pink like grapefruit. In my island, we have hardships. We swim through floods, we rebuild broken homes, we drive rusted, peeling cars, and we don't go out after sunset. We have families of 9, 12, 15. Our grandparents raise us until we are old enough to raise each other out of deep pits of wet soil. Like plants, we rise. I left my island too young to know the pain of growing in these streets. The calloused hands, the dirty feet. All I can do is learn from them not to forget where I come from. When I hear the whispers of the ocean, part of me wants to run back to the shore, hide in the warmth of the concrete streets, but when my island calls me, I know I must come home. This one's called Linger. Lonely, 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 only one sitting, one listening, one kissing the sweet ground I sweep. Drifting, 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 wishing things were different, things would change, things would blossom again. Already weeping, 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 wiping tears off my eyes, wiping sleep from my cheeks, wiping erasers over pages of letters to you. It all comes back to it. I'll shoot this one's called Today. That's okay, girl. What would we have done? I wanted to go to New York and eat soft serve. Remember, every second I reached for your hand and thanked God for you. Maybe just dinner and a movie, you liked that. Putting your head on my shoulder, running your fingers through the back of my hair. What a killing silence, what a deafening nothing. I waited so long for these days to have them ripped out of me, no anesthesia. What do I do now? Write these poems while my bones ache for yours. Look out the window at the grass you'll never touch. Think about myself, me. I am now worth everything. We were worth the sky and the moon. I am all of it. What an image. I'll try to picture it without you in mind.
Thank you. Yeah, I do a lot of things. I am the literary director for the Arts Exchange. It's a nonprofit community cultural arts center in East Point, and I do this thing the last Sunday of every month called the Author Panel, Power Words Author Panel, where authors who have books or things or projects that are coming out, we chat for a little bit, you share some of your work, and then hopefully the people who watch will come out and support your work. So if anybody here is interested in being a part of the author panel, just shoot me an email. I was like, give out your cards. And I was like, oh, I gave out the cards. And I forgot to put new cards back in the really fancy case that my children bought me. So I'm going to re-up my cards. I'll have them next time, and there will be a next time. I have it on good authority that Cliterati is going to be a thing.
Yeah!
We'll be back to monthly. It'll be amazing. And hopefully you will tell your friends, and your friends will tell friends, and we'll pack this joint out, and we'll have us some poetry fun. But yeah, so please reach out if you're interested in being part of the author panel. I also do an open mic series over there, and the open mic series has a writing workshop component. So if you have a writing workshop that you've been wanting to try out on mini poets, bring it, because we're all about it. We have one more reader, unless someone else is thinking about getting on. We could probably do another round robin if people are interested. So Wen, are you ready to share? I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Y'all give it up for Wen! Okay, may I take your photograph?
Yeah.
Huh?
So I got the jitters.
It's okay. You're in a place of love.
Gotcha.
Woo!
Well,
Yeah.
look at you.
So I have two shorter and a little bit longer, so I'm gonna do three, that's okay. So can people hear me? I'm kind of soft spoken. The first one is called The Rabbit Eats Her Young. I watched a rabbit once, small, wild, soft, free prey, and her baby. Not a pink and naked thing, but with fur and eyes and teeth, able to follow her through the world. Old enough to know her, to be known in turn. Old enough for herself to be more her own than her mother's, though can that ever really be said? I watched her baby catch fire one day. No, really, spontaneous combustion or how, I don't know. A woman burning, is it so hard to believe? Her mother, unsurprised and silent when she saw. She only touched her gently, her nose barely twitching, they both vanished from the world. Was it kinder? To perish burning together, no one knows exactly when life stops. Did it hurt less to watch her grow into something destroyed? Some rabbits eat their young, like meat, tender and small, weak and willing their babies prey. For how long is it kinder to be a childless mother? The cells still a part of her, her hunger sated, her grief comforted, at least her child was innocent. Mom, I'm so sorry I'm a dyke. I'm so sorry I'm burning up, and I'm so sorry I'm not. who you thought I would be in another life I have told you earlier, before you saw her, before my fur grew in soft and downy. When I was still naked and helpless, I might have told you, made you see who I was before I was your baby, before I was yours. If I had told you earlier when I was more you than my own, before I'd taken your cells and twisted into something burnt and scorned, when I was still you covered in your blood, I might have told you, you might have eaten me whole. I might have spared you from burning with me. The second one is called Jude as You, and it's a response to a question my friend has asked me a couple of times. Why do you write about God so much if you don't even believe in him? I've been trying to think of an answer for you, not leave you in silence, another damned God question unheard. I grew up a woman after all, or a dyke, that's not quite the same, in God's land, in Georgia, Bible's belt on my skin. I write about God because I've got a mean dad too. I've been in church before and saw what it did to you. When I was a kid, the only way to not get married was to grow up and be a nun, because calling my mom feels like praying, desperate and unheard. I still write to God because you remind me of Jesus a lot. Hands that build still crucified. Christ, does that make me a disciple? All I know of God is damnations and drownings and you. His name on your lips, untouched, and all you are for him. God damn me, but if he's real and if you're his, I wish you'd go to hell. And then this last one is called Childhood Games. I kissed my sister's rapist. Before, I mean, it's always before. It happened, she knew, too late. I kissed him when he was still a boy, golden hair still soft, smile still honest. I only kissed him for sweetness, for holding my hand when I was scared. Did you know playing Tetris can prevent and reduce PTSD?
What?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
He told me when everyone else looked away. If I told her it was rape she didn't know before, does that mean I did it again and again? For all the other boys, did I beat bloody her fumbling adolescence? It's easy for me to say. I only kissed him. She still doesn't believe me, but she lets me say I'm sorry. He didn't. She might not have let him. Anyway, I bought her a Tetris game for Christmas.
Damn. Oh, yeah.
I did. Wow.
Awesome, all this awesomeness in this room. So this is the smell thing from from COVID. That rosemary that is not rosemary, a burning herb, pine needles, my dad's house, the plastic masks, hospital sterility, and the after-draw bandage spot of blood, the salty iron, tasting corn in a chowder, dirt, green beans, the smell of dog poop right under the window as I'm isolated, fresh basil, mint, lime, chamomile, sage, strawberry and red cabbage, coffee, the beans, every sip of it, grapes, vanilla, maple and syrup and candy over ice cream, banana, cashew, chocolate, the many darkened forms, the bars, the covered nuts and espresso beans, Palo Santo, burning tree in the hand, pepper, red flaked, blackened, ground, tangerine and buttered bread, arugula, miso, carrots and salad dressing, yogurt covered raisins, horseradish in the ground, the beet variety, peas. How I hated their green flavor, sesame seeded, oiled, tear and saline. I cry so much I taste it. Bergamot, Earl Greys and lavender, peachy sleepy time tea. Having COVID, I've been drinking so much goddamn rootsy tea. the gummy vitamin that tastes like kid aspirin, orange, lemon, lime, fruit punch, and Gatorade, the clove wafting through the window. I drift like an Ophelia, as if she didn't actually want to drown. When I stopped smoking, my nose became a super smeller. My taste buds woke up from decades of pepper shakers shaken over everything for any kind of response. This is a mind-fucky place of rewind, of why now and me, of what and who and where and when, with an under feeling of self-sabotage, like somehow I willed it to happen, like an ableism I deserved. It becomes a grief, and I catalog tastes and smells, even memories of smells. I make lists, and my caretaker helps me by infusing plates arriving from the other side of a door with last meal desires, as if warding off getting any sicker, with wands and spells of pungent tastes and smells, and I fear losing my senses as much as getting even sicker. These thoughts of where it happened underscore how at risk we all are, actually, all the time. It's just that certain events highlight the fact of all our mortality, and I have already had years of reminders, the hints, the blunt anvils of age, my guts hurt, the aches, the all of my body, all of the time, made more now and amplified. And now I know, when the real fear comes with mortality, it is senseless, and it lacks taste, and it smells bad.
I'm gonna do one that I thought I printed, but I did not.
Hey,
I hate reading
phone.
off my phone, but here we are. All right. Okay, so the thing about Google Docs
Oh dear.
is if you don't put the title.
Oh no.
It
I
just comes
cheated that.
up as
April Poetry Month, number 5.
unnamed. Wow. All right. Untitled document.
Yes.
Untitled document. All right. So I'm still on the fence about this poem. I think it's kind of mean, but mean happens sometimes when you ask a poet, how come you don't write poems about me? Because you don't get to set that tone. You may not want that poem about you. So I'm still on the fence about this one. I'm still messing with it to see if I can. People say it's not mean, but I think it's kind of mean. But it's called We Shouldn't, But We Are.
Oh, me, Theresa. Whoops.
If you were everything I needed, I wouldn't be writing this now. I couldn't be writing this now. I was trying to have a goddamn conversation with you, but it was about art. You don't do art. It was about politics, but you don't do politics. And me wanting to take you out on a date to do something other than fuck for a change. And I say theater. You say movie. I say play. You say I don't do plays, and I ask why. And you say, let's just be close, and then you're gonna rub it in shit, taking advantage of my sexual ADHD, and all of a sudden you're fucking again, and you are letting me, and I am letting you, and belts are breaking, and beds are breaking, and then you are passed out, and I am laid up next to you writing a poem about how I don't need to be with you, and the fact that we can't even talk about this because it's not the first time I broached the subject. And the distance between us is further than it appears. Close enough for fingers to stroke clits, but never close enough to meet in the mind, because you don't do that. And I haven't approached the conversation with you in the last 6 months without a fucking drink in my throat, because it's the only way you make sense. And the distance between us is addiction, and we crave the separateness like alcoholics craving a fifth of whatever's cheapest, our soil. So saturated, we will not settle. You want my touch lesson? I want to give it to you. And this is how I know we've stuck ourselves into an existence neither one of us will walk away from, because we don't know how, even though we know we are not who we used to be. The best thing about us is bottom beauty and strap-ons, and because I am a hopeless romantic and you are lazy, the way we lie, The way we lie here, it's almost believable. Almost. Soon, there will be nothing left to anchor us to each other. We are going to crash and burn and drown, and I don't imagine you reaching out or throwing me a life preserver. I mean, why would you save me when you couldn't save yourself from me? The shine we have put on this shitty relationship should shame us both, and the fact that I'm in bed with you, listening to you snore, writing a poem that you will never read because you don't do art makes me realize how blind we are to the reality that we might actually not really like each other. I love you like a root canal is Neither is I love you like an exit wound. We are sick and in need of a 12-step program where we walk away from each other slowly at first, then run like hell, never looking back. When you told me you loved me, I was splayed beneath you, all moan and come. I wasn't even wearing my charm, and I noticed you never loved me with my clothes on.
Oh.
That's the mean one.
I don't, you're not meaner.
Well, no, I have been meaner. Yeah, I'm like, but
I love you like a root canal.
not that. Thank you. I think I'm gonna keep it because I think my publisher will love it too.
Yeah.
He'll be like, no, that's going in the book.
Keeping that.
Keeping that. So we're gonna go back through the list. Is there anyone who does not want to read again? Awesome, Jill, come on. Oh, you don't want to read again? Okay, well, think about it, because Google Docs, it might be an untitled document. That's what I have a lot of those. All right, Jill, come on down. Woo!
Probably the slam poem that I know best, but I wasn't planning on doing it, so I thought, wait a minute, how does that start again? Okay. She, he, they do not accept the limitations the world plants in their paths. He gets another defiant PhD. They wear that red dress like a target. She wraps her hair in moonlight, taking any damn color she wants without reservations, charging into publications as though Billie Holiday hadn't been murdered for a song. Fear rises in me as I see danger everywhere she steps, spilling out of her skin like a rash. I need a word for the tinge of fear I feel when I know she's driving, which is different from knowing that logging trucks speed around cut corners toward his blonde head. More like a box of matches beside a can of gasoline. A white cop pulling her over. A bully incensed by their slim chest and thick dreads, their slightly crippling shoes that won't let them run. Run! But that doesn't work. Wait until morning to drive when your hair glowing with moonlight won't draw them towards you. Come home safe. I'll pick you up. Don't break my heart. Live on to change this.
Sweet. Yeah, no, get used to host it and like not hitting the mic with my mask. It keeps happening. Billy, you have another?
So I had a breakdown at work after SB 140 passed because hey, the government wants us not to exist. So that was hard. So it made me think of this poem that I wrote a while ago, which is how to call in sick with depression. Do not call it depression. Instead, whittle the disease in its woolen language until it is a cough, a flu, or an upset stomach. Focus on the word hospital, on the word serious. Before any talk of coming back in calendars, preface each sentence with, well, the doctor said. And end these conversations with, but I don't know. We just don't know. Try to shrug loud and convincing enough that your boss can hear it through the phone. Do not call your brain a Death Valley pond shriveling with gasping cooked fish and cracked brown kelp. Do not call your apartment a marshland yawning with looped snakes, or have your feet slip into and under the tide of your quicksand couch. Make your sad and weep and nebulous unwell a memo, a bulletin, an email, CC'd to all. When your boss asks if everything is okay, do not tell him that there is no everything, or that everything is a wet, wide mouth dotted with flat, soft, blue teeth, and it is determined to bite through your spine. Instead, tell him, yes. Tell him you just need to take care of a few things. You just need some time off to get better. And better is not a chalkline horizon discovered but already dead, and your life is not a busy mortician rouging out the gray, the stiff, the dry crack of a body after it is used. Tell him you are fine. Just need the time off. Tell him you can't wait to get back to work.
Talia, you gonna share again? Yay! Yay, I really got tons of poems.
This one's called Distance. This is gonna happen to me. I'm going to walk into a coffee shop, bookstore, liquor store, and you'll be there and I'll start to leave, but something in me will say, stay, say something. And I will, and it'll be weird, and maybe it will be okay. And off we'll run into the bright orange sky, but most likely you'll say, hey, thanks. But it's just not there anymore. And I'll say, okay, that's fine, I just wanted you to know, okay? Yeah, I'll say, I know about that party. Oh, well, that's cool. I wouldn't have known you'd be there too if I didn't walk into this coffee shop, bookstore, liquor store today, right now. I'll see you then. These things will keep happening until I move on or you move away and hearts grow fonder, but get used to this beating. I'll always love you. I know that. But hey, I'll see you at the party.
Anyone else? Inspired? You found something? Yay! Yes! Welcome back in.
This one is called Halloween. I'm walking down the street with a Bible in my hand. Haven't touched one since I was 12. Had to buy this from the Goodwill. Had to hear about salvation in the checkout line. Holding it now like a bomb. At least this time I'm choking on fake blood and city smell. Cross-dressing too. I'm holding this Bible like a damned man. His body, his blood, but it's a hand-me-down binder and red corn syrup. Lamppost is in its death throes, crying out some miracle in Morse code I don't want to see. Another burning bush God knows I've burned before. You know, I used to want to be a nun. I thought I could hide from men or God, but never both. And now I'm standing here with this blood, this Bible in my hand. Just like my father, I practiced in the mirror to get the contouring right.
All right, well, that is our open mic tonight. Y'all give yourself a round of applause for being here, yeah. Thank you so much. I'm gonna turn it back over to ER.
Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you always to Theresa Davis and Karen G. We're going to say goodnight to our virtual friends. Thank you for being with us. We will be back here for a special off day, Cliterati, on May 25th. And then we will be back on our
Day after my birthday, y'all.
day after Teresa's birthday. I'm sure she'll be accepting gifts and libations. And then we will be on our regular third Thursday schedule going forward for the rest of the year. So tell your friends, let's get the poets in the house, and we would love to see you all here. So stay safe and well, and have a great night. Thanks again.